Hey everyone, on this week's episode of Shut Up, it's coming back!
Jesus Christ.
Welcome back to the show. My name's Christian Buckley. The dead speak. I hope you had an enjoyable holiday break, whatever you were celebrating over the past however many weeks. I hope you enjoyed, because I took some what I thought was well-deserved rest. But we're back. I wanted to talk about something that I found fantastic enjoyment in over the break, and that is Resident Evil 2. Okay, so I know Resident Evil's a big deal, right? I've been around games editorials, I guess, for a very long time on the internet, watching videos of people like Greg Miller, the Game Trailers crew, now Easy Allies, seeing those people who grew up with some of the highly beloved classics, like Resident Evil, Ocarina of Time. Clearly I played Ocarina of Time, but Resident Evil escaped me for a very long time. Over 2019, I did ship away at the remake of Resident Evil, which is available on pretty much everything now. Love the game to death. It's easily in my top 20 of all time now. And I was just blown away by how atmospheric it was. Yeah, it's kind of cheesy, but like, it still nails the exact tone that it's trying to go for. Resident Evil 2 came out in January of 2019. I got it for Black Friday. I had a few games to finish off before I felt comfortable giving myself to Capcom. But I have no problem doing that. But regardless, I got through Leon's campaign in Resident Evil 2 Remake, and I gotta say, it is fantastic. If I played that game before I made my top 10 list for 2019, it easily would have been at least number 3, maybe number 2. I adore Resident Evil 2. And I think it is really because it has a wholesomeness to it, like in its horror and in its scares and in its world. Because you have Leon, who is this fresh-faced cop. You have him new on the force, joining this like very strange police department. It used to be a museum. The RPD is such an incredible map to explore. There's so many twists and turns. Just finishing certain, not even plot threads, but like maybe hallways, I guess. Connecting them, seeing how the entire building exists and feels like a building is one of the coolest things about RE2 for me. But clearly, one of the great appeals about Resident Evil 2 is the gore, the zombies, the horror. Now, I'm not a fan, really, of horror films. I get terrified of horror films. I didn't sleep the first time I saw Paranormal Activity, and that's when I was like 14. But when it comes to horror video games, I'm a bit more... honestly, I would say I'm a fan of horror video games because I have control over the situation for the most part. When I'm watching a movie, I just have to see what's gonna unfold onto these characters. When I'm playing Resident Evil 2, and I'm getting chased by zombies, I'm running away from zombies and then walk into a liquor, it's not so much horror as it is like panic, and because that's better. It's this feeling of, oh no, what am I gonna do? Fight or flight. I can think on my toes and it's apt. And that's great because they give you the tools to survive in this game. It is a game about survival at its core. And I don't need to add to that conversation, you know, but it's worth it. And if perhaps you don't love horror as a genre, I still think checking out this franchise, probably any of the originals or the remakes, is a good place to hop on. And we've gone however long into this recording, I have to bring it up. The Tyrant, Mr. X. Mr. X is a meme at this point. Like, X gonna give it to you, Thomas the Tank Engine, walking around in a thong. Mr. X is a meme, right? So I was going into this game, I was like, I'm familiar, I know what I'm getting into with him. I've seen the memes, I've seen reactions, I've seen full playthroughs. So I was expecting, like, yeah, Mr. X is gonna show up, he's gonna pop up sometimes and just like run into me, make me like have a fire underneath me. I did not realize he tracks your movement, like, constantly after he's introduced. And when I realized that, I'm gonna have a clip in here of the moment I realized that, because it's after you escape him when he lifts up the helicopter. I dealt with him, I did that little dance, you know, I got away from him, and I got back to the main hall. To this point, the main hall is something that you feel comfortable in, right? I went to the typewriter, I saved, and I was like, you know what, I need a breather because that was super intense. Put my controller down, took the headphones off, checked my phone a little bit, and because the headphones are off, in that moment, I didn't get the warning, you know? Because when Mr. X is in pursuit, you hear like intense stomps. So I look at my screen, because I think I felt a controller vibrate or something, and then Leon just gets like haymakered by Mr. X. I freaked out, because I was like, oh man, I haven't died yet in this playthrough. I can't remember if I died there, but like that moment really taught me like, hey, we can catch you slipping, and Mr. X is gonna come your way if you are, because, oh god, that's just like, that was a great moment, and it lived up to the hype for me. Like, yeah, he turned into a meme. I saw it everywhere. It's like, oh, Mr. X, the moment he shows up, he chases you everywhere, but really, I was blown away by how much of an impact Mr. X had on my own, like, feelings playing this game, because I got into the rhythm, you know? Like, I adjusted to the rules of this game. I figured out a really good rhythm on how to survive, inventory management, and then they throw Mr. X at you, you know? And it's like, hey, you better know the route you're going, because if he's showing up, you have no time to dilly-dally, you can't get lost, you gotta know what's up. And I appreciate that about RE2. God, I forgot about Ada. Ada is such a cool character that just fleshes out the world of Resident Evil so much more. And as someone who really liked all the documents, all the information about the city and Umbrella, all the little things scattered throughout the original Resident Evil, seeing like the seedy underbelly through her perspective, it's just so great. It's so perfect. And I am so excited to get Resident Evil 3. I'm there day one, obviously. And it's so awesome for me to be excited about zombies again. You know, I tried Days Gone over the break. Walking Dead I'm sick of. They did something. I don't know what they did. It might just be because of how intimidating a small group of zombies can be in these dark corridors, but they made zombies threatening again, and that's a very impressive feat in my eyes. I think that'll wrap up week 1 of 2020 for Chun Up. I am beyond excited to be back. I cannot wait for the rest of 2020 to just go off every week on what I'm feeling. If you enjoyed the show, if this is your first time watching Chun Up, welcome to Joy Clicks. How you doing? Hope you had a good time. I'd appreciate likes, shares, subs, all that stuff greatly helps just my morale, if I'm being honest. Like, seeing that there's some people enjoying this makes me feel really good. If you do want to talk a little more though, there's a Discord link in the description where you can reach me pretty much constantly, as well as people like Kevin and others who work with me on Joy Clicks content. But Happy New Year, happy 2020. Also, the Witcher Netflix series is fantastic. Don't sleep on it.
Okay.